I'm Howard from HGS Electrical. So I'm back here at Physical to Digital today. I'm just going to be giving this a second coat. So I got my sander with my Festool extractor. I'm going to sand off round here, then I'm going to give it a brush with some water. The reason we give it a brush with some water is it absorbs all the dust, it removes a lot of the dust. It also wets the surface, so when I give it a nice fine fill, it doesn't absorb all the water out the filler so much, so it makes it a little easier to work with, a little easier to smooth, and it helps reduce cracking. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to mix up a batch now. I'm going to get this. I'm going to start on the exterior. The reason I'm going to do that is I only want a very fine sand. This is 240 grit, but it's a brand new sanding pan, brand new sander. So I'm going to start around the outside, do the outside first to wear this in a bit, and then I'm going to go across the middle. So I got my mic off, so apologies if the sound quality is bad, but I just wanted to stop for a second and show you Festool. We use it for chasing, we use it for grinding, we use it for sanding. I've done videos on it before, it's just absolutely immense. Look, you can use an orbital sander like this in an office and have absolutely no dust down there. Tiny line, you always get a tiny line under where you're doing. That's how much faith I have in this. I intentionally left that like that just to show you the confidence I have in this setup. So interested to try the Metabo. I hear good things about it, but you know, we've got the big 26 litre AC auto clean Festool, 800 quid each. We've got two of those. This is just the MIDI. The MIDI I'm not so confident about actual chasing or grinder out. Sanding all day long. The big AC is a heavy beast. You don't want to lift it up once it's full, trust me. It will give you a hernia, but that will eat through chasing. The only thing it doesn't like is insulation, but it will chew through everything else, suck everything else up you throw it. Back to the sand. Absolutely contented with how that came out. Yeah, lovely finish. I've gone round a little bit round and in between, that's just to rough up the surface slightly, give it a slightly better surface for the paint to key to. Probably a bit over the top, but that's how we do it. When doing it, it's good to run it in a circular motion. What I do to feather in the edges, you probably shouldn't, just give it a slight tilt and just very lightly, you don't need to apply pressure. Very lightly, just feather in the edges and then give it another little circular motion round. Maybe why my other one burnt out, but you know, lasted 3, 4, 5 years, got a hell of a lot of abuse from the guys on site, and at the end of the day it's all about the finish. Now, if we were burning out £800 tools regularly, we'd have to review something, but I think this was 40, 50 quid. Ridiculous really, and like I said, it's better than my £100 Makita. I found it better than my £100 DeWalt one. Haven't gone for the £10 million Festool one. This will do. Disclaimer, in case anyone from Festool is watching, their sander doesn't actually cost £10 million. So I brought my own water supply for mixing up and sanding, same as you may have seen yesterday. Why? Because I'm not cleaning up, I'm not washing up in the offices. It's got communal toilets, communal offices. I'm trying to leave it a clean place. I took all the bucket and filler home last night with all the rubbish in it and cleaned it when I got home. Or rather Mikey did, bless him, but he did a little bit of filling too. So same again, I'm not going to be traipsing stuff in and out of the toilets and office. I'm just quickly here, just putting a little bit in the bucket, and I contemplated mixing it up before I got some easy fill today. Unfortunately, it's easy fill 60 rather than my favourite, the regular easy fill. Goes off in 60 minutes. Doesn't actually work if you apply it in thick doses. It takes longer to dry. I don't know how thin it's got to be to go off in 60 minutes. But it goes off quicker, it's a little tougher to work with. And as a result, I didn't mix it up before I came. Regular easy fill, I could have probably mixed it up before I came, or mixed it up outside and just left it waiting for me for now. This stuff you don't want to, so I want it nice and pliable, nice and wet, so I'm mixing it up literally as I'm going to use it, so I know it's going to stay the consistency I want. So with this, I'm using a small brush. Save me ruining another brush. These are just some cheap ones I bought for PVA-ing, dusting and cleaning. They're not good ones for painting. So with this, I'm just removing all the fine dust. It's going to dry out, clump, drag, stick to my filler. And instead, it's going to make the surface slightly wetter. So it's just going to stop the water being pulled out of the filler I'm putting on, which is going to make it more pliable, less likely to crack over time, which probably isn't an issue in this case, but it's more about the pliability. It's going to go on lovely and smooth. Just put it on. The key is not to overdo it. So a light sand and that'll be perfect. I've learned from experience, you give it that one more spin, as I said yesterday, ruins it. But you see how much better a finish it's gone on today than tomorrow. I don't like the 60-minute stuff. You know, I still knocked it up well. That's faith. That's faith. No dust sheet. That's faith. Bald head. That's fake. But yeah, it's not bad. When you're transferring it, I'll have to show you some hawk skills. But a good trick, if you want to fill an edge or something like that, get it on your hawk or on your edge. You kind of push your trowel up and flick, and you get that lovely lump. That's not going to be any good to me here, but I'm actually gonna feather it along. Make a little bit as long as my chase. It's actually thick, a lot thicker than I need. Now I'm actually starting to drag some bits through that, so what I'm going to try and do, if there's any rubbish in here, you just don't want to use that. So pop that to one side, clean off your edges, because if your edges aren't clean, they're just going to drag stuff. And then what I like to do to give it that final polish, wet the edge of the trowel gently. Just make sure all the stuff's on it, because it's just going to drag the filler around, drag the plaster around. You always notice plasterers keep theirs all spotless. It's just everything else they don't keep spotless. Right. And then now that fine layer of stuff I just pulled off in the last swipe, actually that is the perfect thin filling stuff, because it's been pressed and mixed and pressed and mixed and added with a bit more water from when I put it on the trowel and pulled it off, so that is lovely for filling tiny gaps. There are lots of tiny gaps here. My perfectionism said, fill, fill, fill. My experience is telling me if I fill them, I'm gonna mess up that finish. The key here is let it go off. Tiny sand. This is easy fill, easy sand. You basically sand it with paper, it's beautiful. So, and I don't mean sandpaper, I mean regular paper. So that's it. Decorators will come in, tiny sand. Drops are good. See, there you go. Prime example. I'm just gonna make sure you can see it. I had it really nice. I gave it that one more. I still do it consistently. I'm gonna wrap that up. Thank you very much.